Hey, and welcome back, you guys. Here again with another exciting match, the possibly final in the series, or will Wisconsin be able to hold on for just one more? We'll find out here soon. I am Aaron Yodroid Yoder here with Basket of Knives. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. We are back for Game 3. We've got University of Illinois Chicago on the blue side, and we've got University of Wisconsin Madison on the red side. Bands are going out. We've got Camille and Tristana as these first two bands, and Wisconsin's backs against the wall. Let's see what the Badgers will do when they're backed into a corner, and we'll see if Chicago is going to finish their reign of terror over the Badgers.
I'm thinking the Badgers are just going to start dancing. I really hope so. Because, I mean, unless they switch up the way that they've been running comps, I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do. What they've been doing in the past hasn't exactly been panning out for them. But hey, honestly, they can pull it off. They took one game off of UIC. To the final score, it's 1-2 right now, right?
No, currently the score is 2-0.
2-0? Never mind, I misheard. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, they can take this game, absolutely. Because, I mean, they've got the players, they seem to have the communication, they just need that drafting strength.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. You know, they're deviating from last time. Last time, Wisconsin banned out 380 carries in that first round. This time, opting for two junglers and that 80 carry. And the first pick, Caitlyn, going over to ZN Delta on the side of Chicago. That's been a power pick lately for a lot of people.
Nasty.
So we'll see what goes on.
That is going on to Wearers of Sama, and I mean the reason is just because you can make so much use out of the fleet footwork pass or the fleet footwork keystone. Standing in lane, you can be so obnoxiously dominant. Oh, and there is Scion and Vi being picked up. I like the Vi pick actually here for Wisconsin. I think that Johnson can make really good use. He likes those diving junglers, those junglers that go in and get their hands dirty. Like, I think that this is a good pick for the Johnson.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and they're definitely changing it up from last game with having two essentially tanks on that side of Wisconsin with the Scion and Vi. The Zach and Caitlyn picked up, and it looks like also Tadungi goes with that Galio. So now we do have that Galio. We are back. For all of you that were watching this chat, thank you guys for letting us know that it was still on that score screen. So we are about to go on that second phase. We'll see if they do pick a mid laner or an 80 carry to finish off the round here, or maybe even a top laner. That Galio could go top as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Opt for a lot more damage with the Vagar mid.
Oh, sorry.
Out of Wisconsin. For a lot more damage with Vagar mid on the side of Wisconsin.
Yeah, again, like, this is honestly a deviation from what they were doing before. They've been picking these really, really fast run at you comps, right? This is something that could take their time and then orchestrate a dive. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, you have Chicago, who's opting for definitely that tossing the Zac, tossing the Galio,
sharpening my feathers,
popping with the Caitlyn, all in sort of comp.
Banning out that Gnar from the last game, or from the game 1, right?
Yeah, that was game 1. ZN Delta picked up the Gnar and gave Mike quite a difficult time with that.
I'm also, like you were saying earlier, liking the vibe pickup from Johnson, because this will give him, especially if he goes Conquer on Vi, a lot of damage against the tanks, and especially if once he gets to Triforce, a lot of play potential squishies.
It looks like they're likely going to lock in. They're going for the Vayne in. Risky plays. Emerald Plastic is going to have to do some hard carrying with that Vayne against the Caitlyn. A huge range difference in that matchup. And it looks like they're going to get that Morgana most likely as that counter pick and the support. I think that's going to be a very effective counter pick. As soon as Vayne tumbles, you just throw out that Q, that Dark Binding, and, well, you're stuck there. with a potential Aatrox in the top lane. That should be very interesting as well.
To be very difficult for Vi later into the game on the Caitlyn, trying to lock her down, but it doesn't do magic damage, so both the Q and the ult are going to be negated by a well-timed Black Shield.
That's an interesting pickup there for Z and Delta, though. The Aatrox.
Yeah, it should be
To
interesting.
bully that Scion out in the split push.
Yeah, it might be a little interesting early. It really is just going to depend on where they go build path-wise and who ends up taking off.
And
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, if Scion ends up, hey,
so we got
that's
a Vayne top, Lucian 80 carry.
Do you think Mike is keeping that smite?
I would
Probably not.
say I
Probably
doubt
not.
it, but we will see what happens. We've got about 35 seconds before they load up. So yeah, I mean, we have a
It's
Lucian
not cheap,
Scion. I'm surprised we don't see the Jhin Scion. That's a better matchup in terms of the synergy. But we do have ourselves a Vayne in the top lane versus an Aatrox. And then the rest is fairly conventional, except for I've not seen Scion support in a while, at least in high elo play, and Veigar mid has been a little bit absent, but it looks like they're going for that Vayne in the top lane with Smite.
Yeah. Okay,
Thing
so
I
I
could
think I
possibly
get it.
think of is
Challenging smite?
he's going to be going the challenging smite with the Blood Razor, so you get that 4% max health on hit. And then eventually you go Blade of the Ruined King, Rage Blade, and get that on-hit thing going. But bringing Smite and Flash, Zach only needs to come up there 2-3 times, blow that Flash, kill her again, and we're not going to be seeing much of the Vayne after that. So hopefully they put up a lot of on this Vayne, shut her down, and then once you take her down, it's practically a 4v5 on the map. To be on, I think Wisconsin's going to need a miracle with this Vayne top. I don't see it doing a whole lot of damage unless she does farm it out and get to that mid to late game, but pretty questionable Smite Vayne top.
I mean, they're obviously going challenging smite, right? Because what else are you gonna build on a Vayne top with smite?
He's probably going to try to back up and take the Krugs or whatever to heal and sustain.
Right.
But is that really going to make the lane for you? You know what I mean? Is that really going to be the definitive?
I mean, because this is a cheese pick. So, right, Wisconsin does kind of feel. I'm sure they're feeling the pressure, knowing, hey, okay, this is our shot. This is where we need to step up. I'm disappointed that they didn't go with a more conventional comp, but it doesn't seem like that's really their thing. They built this a little more like a solo queue team. So you're banking on this top cheese pick Vayne, right, beating out this Aatrox. You're counting on the Vi to be doing Vi things and popping in on squishies. Which, I mean, the only place that Vi is really going to be able to be super viable is going to be this bot lane, diving on them. And then you've got Veigar, who's just looking to continuously scale as a fallback plan. In case all else fails, you've got Veigar, who can just one-shot the carry. So it's an interesting strat, but it's making me question how much strategy there wasn't in the pick. But I mean, I guess we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, we're getting into the game here in about 10 seconds, everyone. Game 3 of University of Wisconsin versus University of Illinois Chicago. Match point for University of Illinois Chicago. So go ahead and put in that Twitch chat of who you think is going to take Game 3 and why. We do have the first ever, at least in my time here, casting a Vayne top lane with Smite. So that should be very interesting to see what comes out here. I feel like we've got two drastically different compositions. Again, they're going pretty heavy for that damage on the side of Wisconsin, but they do have at least double tank with that Vi and Scion, so we'll see if that'll be enough to carry the damage that you can get from a late game Lucian, Vayne, and Vigar versus the damage you'll get out of the Caitlyn and Aatrox and Galio.
Yeah, will it be enough to get them what they need?
We do have the Conqueror on ZN Delta on that Aatrox, so if he's able to keep himself close to any target during that game, especially Mike during that laning phase, then you will have some big problem with all that true damage dealt.
And on the other side, you do have Vayne who has the fleet footwork, so that could come in a lot of handy. And they actually took the inspiration tree, so we'll see if they actually ended up with a minion dematerializer there as well to continue like shoving towards the Aatrox, because I'm guessing they knew that they would probably have a little bit of an issue pushing after a while.
Yep, we are jumping right into this game. It does not look like there is any flash on that side, but that is okay just based on what we're getting here from those items. So let's see what's going on here with these builds. People are making some pings, fanning on out. Looks like we might have an invade coming in here from team there. They do get spotted out though from that ward. However, 10 gold up from ZN Delta. They're already spawning that GG and just saying, hey, we're up 10 gold.
Hey, it's a big deal, man. It makes a huge difference, especially in this early game. That's a third of a potion. That's a fifth of a potion.
Yep, I mean, hey, you're up 1 CS. I mean, basically GG in lane right there. But it looks like we might even get a late invade from the side of Wisconsin. Might try to do a little bit of cheese here. I mean, they are from Wisconsin. They do have the Green Bay Packers for that cheese, so maybe this just
I should be proud of you for that. Congratulations, you made your first pun and it was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm good with the puns when they are appropriate, so we'll see what happens here. We do have Wisconsin versus UIC, and looks like they did check. Mike did check to see if Zach was working on that blue buff, but it makes sense for Zach to be going for that red buff early anyway. So jungler's just going along that bot side. Laner's going to lane. Things about even right now, and we'll see where this matchup goes. I'm really looking forward to seeing this top lane matchup.
I mean, especially
It is probably going to be close to decided within these first 5 to 7 minutes off how this Vayne lanes. The longer this Vayne can stay without feeding, the longer Wisconsin has a chance. But I think the rest of her team is going to have an unfortunate collapse.
Yep, you already see Emerald Plask having to pop that lone potion, getting poked out by the Dark Binding and Piltover Peacemaker from Osama and Eddie. So we'll see what happens here. Both junglers get that top lane side of their jungle. We'll see where ganks come in first. Who will be the first to proc that gank, and where will they go?
Yeah, and see, this is what we were talking about earlier, strength of the Vayne. Oh, hey, look, looks like the feisty one getting a little bit of trouble there. Tajungi doing a lot of damage, actually, to the early level on that Galio. I love thighs. Looks like he wants to go in for a little bit of the action, but the Johnson flashes away and makes sure nothing else really happens that much. Oh, but there is the event horizon that comes down. The feisty one gets pulled back. This is starting to look like an extended trade in the mid lane more than a fight.
We are out of man on the side of the Feasty, so he's going low, and we have I Love Thighs going to that top lane, seeing if he can get a gank on Mike.
Oh, and here we have the gank in the top lane. Mike All right, looks like he's starting to run for his life. ZN Delta taking a few hits, but will end up getting that kill right over to I Love Thighs. Will pick up the first kill of his game, first blood. Ooh,
Flash and heal blown by the side of... Oh, finished off though. They do get the retribution kill. Undead onslaught from the side with a double kill from the top lane. However, from the bottom lane, however, there also is the 2 kills going over on top side. 1 going to I Love Thighs and 1 going to ZN Delta.
A very, very oddly structured game here, going into the last match of this series. Interesting. Okay, so I have a lot of confidence actually in the bot lane of Wisconsin. This top lane not looking great, especially because of the fact that Mike isn't really able to keep a lot of wards up right now. And the strength of I Love Thighs ganks, it's gonna be really difficult for him to continue keeping up. Oh, but it looks like that Johnson wants a little bit more to Doongi. Starts running backwards into his own jungle. The feisty one not able to land any more follow-up damage, but yeah, the Johnson just making sure that Tadungi knows exactly where he is.
I think what you said earlier was pretty true. This top lane might be slowly starting to collapse, but hopefully Emerald Plastic can pick up the slack on this Lucian and make some big plays with that double kill he just got.
Yeah, the Johnson coming in for another repeat gank, third one in about 3 minutes. Tadungi taking a lot of damage, but the Johnson taking just as much. The feisty and the Johnson having to back off now. Not able to continue a whole lot more there. Teddy Eddie gets caught out here in the bot lane, trying to face check that brush. Ends up being popped by Emerald Plastic, who rushes in 2 shots in no time.
Yeah, rule number 1 when you're playing Morgana, if you are going into a bush that is not warded, always just have your finger ready for that black shield. Might have saved his life, but you will never know. Definitely really clutch for this bottom lane right now. You're up a BF sword on a pickaxe. You are up a good amount of damage, up a level, and you're going to get significant push and potentially a farm advantage as well as that tower damage on it. We do have level 6 popped in from the Aatrox, and jumping in though so close and coming in from the side of the Feisty there on Wisconsin, trying to manage to get that kill, but that magic shield, the Galio just specializing in anti-magic.
Yeah, not exactly calculating the amount of damage he would need to finish that off. The feisty one flashes in, busts that for no kill over there. Oh, it looks like Mike is going to be in trouble. No flash up here too.
He does manage to get
a good
jukes on. He did put on his Jordans today, so he is moving around. And we do have Wisconsin going for the early Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, they're going to end up picking up the first dragon. The great thing about picking up Vi is that, I mean, you can take those early dragons and worry too much about not being able to do it alone. So you can sneak out dragons without pulling too many people from your side lanes. But, I mean, that's going to give them a lot of pushing potential on this bot side, who is already shoving up all the way to the bot side turret, whereas Osama... yeah, is struggling, actually, in this lane, even playing something like a Caitlyn, who should be able, theoretically, to just poke out Emerald Plastic.
If there is that ward there placed by Wisconsin to prevent them from getting any vision inside that bush. The culling is popped, getting Osama so low enough to send him back to the fountain. 4th kill on the side of Emerald Plastic, and correction from earlier, everyone, it was a Mountain Dragon, not an Infernal Dragon. That is my mistake there from looking at the icon incorrectly.
Yeah, that was actually a small twitch there from Teddy Eddie, just that smallest amount of space that he ended up giving over to Emerald Plastic that actually sadly ended up killing Where's Osama, because Teddy Eddie was soaking up most of the damage, but wasn't actually able to move just slightly, and one of the shots ended up ricocheting back into his laner. So maybe a little bit more communication there could have helped. Ooh, I Love Thighs though going in for the return gank. Mike stuns him into the wall. The condemn lands, prevents him from getting killed. So yeah, that could have been super bad.
Yeah, and if you notice, bottom tower's already down to a third, and you're up 4 kills. I'm guessing he's going to go back, at least get that Warhammer. Boots. Oh, man, he's almost got that completed. He already does. He does indeed, at 9 minutes in, has that completed Essence Reaver on the side of Emerald Plastic. So Wisconsin's going to have even extra power down this bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, sitting with 4 kills and the 70 CS that he's sitting on, it's really no joke. I mean, it might be a small CS lead that he has here for himself, but when you consider the fact that he's also simultaneously gotten those 4 kills, that is extremely impressive. And whereas Osama is going to struggle a lot, because if Caitlyn is not at least 1 item up, you find it very difficult to duel in the mid game. So this might be rough. Oh, Emerald Plastic gonna go ahead and pop the culling. There is Scion charging into the turret, doesn't pick up anything, but the ultimate from mid lane heroic entrance does bring in Galio and saves Words of Sama, that enabling them to pick up a double kill for themselves. There is wow, yeah, that's what happens when you shove up way too far in a lane with a Galio mid. Oh, the Johnson now looking for a little bit more.
I would say very greedy play from the Johnson. Does get the flash out of Caitlyn and Galio, but that is definitely not worth for feeding another. And we do have a summoner disconnected, so the Johnson has quit. Maybe perhaps he is raged quit, however, it looks like it's a pause. So we'll see what happens here in just a moment. But taking stock there, though, I mean, you just gave this Caitlyn, who had 1 kill, you just gave him 3 kills like that. That's pretty risky and honestly not worth it just to kill that Morgana.
No, not at all. I mean, like, the dive could have worked, but if you look at what happened right after the Johnson jumped in, right, uses the Q to try to get into the on Caitlyn, ends up meleeing a minion directly afterwards, and then using the ultimate. So since that 1 auto, which honestly, the amount of life that whereas Osama had was about 1 auto's worth. If that auto would have landed, that would have been a dead Caitlyn, possibly making up for some of what happened there. But yeah, overall, not a great gank. Not a great way to start that off.
Nope, however, Wisconsin does manage to grab that first tower, so making up for some of that gold, and Wisconsin still ahead despite some of that blunder there. They are still up about 200 gold, nothing really to go home about, but...
No, but looking up here on the top side, it looks like Mike could be in a little bit more trouble. There's I Love Thighs, condemns, slams him into the wall. He saw that coming. Luckily, he's got that ward there, but yeah, see, this is just... I Love Thighs continually ganking this top side. They really want to shut this down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to see here, they do smartly end up utilizing that Black Shield first with that ward they do not have. And they do manage to also finish off
the feisty one. Oh, and Mike in the top side, he's going in on I Love Thighs. Looks like ZN Delta's being picked up by the Johnson. That is a double kill on the bot side. And it looks like a double kill for the team on the top side. That is a massive gain for the side of Wisconsin there.
Oh, absolutely. They're making up some lost ground. They're continuing to pressure this team that wants to try to scale, but they are putting the fire under their butt to say, hey, you guys want to get there, you guys have got to fight for it. And actually, interestingly enough, I want to talk about how you see Mike. He went Cinderhulk.
We may have to interrupt this here in a second. Top lane, we have Johnson isolated alone. I'm just letting you know in case we get into a fight. Oh boy. Alright, so it looks like I Love Thighs jumps in with the squishiness. There we go. Johnson taunting that one out. Knows he's not going to get out of that, so Tadungi picks up that kill for himself. But yeah, you were saying.
Even after for Wisconsin. They were only up about 600 gold, so really wasn't much of a lead that they gained. More of like losses
Just
that they
bring
have
themselves
made
back
up.
up.
Yeah. I mean, to go for Wisconsin, as they're only 100 gold, 200 gold up.
Yeah, that is an interesting point. There's some red things going down on the bot side. Looks
This is
like
game
Imperial
scales
Trinity.
compared to Chicago. Wisconsin is lacking a lot of crowd control, so this is a very big thing as the game scales.
Yeah, oh, it looks like Mike here on the top side, though, in a little bit of trouble, is not able to finish off I Love Thighs. There we go, I spoke too soon. He ends up getting his passive popped, at least. Emerald Plastic being found out here. Where's Osama knocked up? There you go, and there's the Unstoppable being popped for Imperial Trinity. Oh, where's Osama? Has barely any life. There is the heal being popped by the bot lane duo, saving Where's Osama's life, at least for the time being. Ooh. Alright, the Morgana Binding does end up landing its mark on Emerald Plastic, negating any more aggression that could be had on the bot side.
Ping's going down on that Infernal Drake, so looks like Wisconsin's trying to extend this objective lead by grabbing that second dragon. However, they do have them coming on in. However, I Love Thighs has made a terrible mistake jumping in there. Does have to blow the flash on the way out. He does not have the passive available, so he tries to make the smarter play to not end up dying, but I think in general that was a little bit risky. Going in there by yourself anyway.
I mean, considering the position that they're in, that's probably, it was probably a decent play to make, just because, I mean, his team is tied. They have not been tied before. They know Mike in the top lane is still getting stronger, right? And is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So definitely having the Infernal Drake would be helpful. Give it the flash, though. I'm not sure if it's necessarily worth it.
And I'm still curious around the thoughts on this whole build of running the Cinder Hulk on that challenging smite. So we'll see what happens there with that. Mike, though, victim of another gank coming in here. Likely going to end up dead there. Just due to the nature of, well, it's a 1v2 and Vayne can only do so much.
Yeah, and right now Mike actually only has 2 Doran's Blades and that challenging smite up for himself. That's all he has built. Up against his Aatrox with Stinger and Phage already built for himself. So it's funny, they've been dedicating so many resources to the top lane though that I Love Thighs has not been able to get down to the bot lane to really help out his laners down there, and so now they're tying up the just now they're tying up the turret count.
We do have I Love Thighs going for that Rift Herald. We do have a lot of damage going down though onto that mid lane tower. Unfortunately, not a lot of damage going onto the Galio himself due to that anti-magic shield that he does
And
have.
not a lot of awareness from Wisconsin. I Love Thighs taking that Rift Herald uncontested. Black Vision. Oh, but Zadungi may be in trouble here, and there we picks up a kill onto Zadungi in the mid lane. There goes the chicken. It's chicken wings for dinner tonight, guys.
Yep, we do have 3 ults blown on the side of Wisconsin for that. They are rewarded with that tower. Another gank coming in though, most likely. We do have the bottom side being converged upon. Flash is blown. The Multi-Goal, however, the Johnson does finish off. Where's Osama?
Alright, meanwhile on the top lane, we do have Mike being won by Xeon Delta. Ends up rolling away, popping the ultimate just to survive. Not going to end up making it out there. Meanwhile, on the bot side, though, the rest of his team is busy taking the turret. And, yeah, I'd say worthwhile trade there for Wisconsin.
Oh, absolutely. Sacrificing the 0-4, now 0-5 Vayne just to be annoying right now in order to secure more and more of a threshold and a stranglehold on to that bottom lane and to continue to feed your 5 and 2 Lucian, who is now up in about half an item on his lane opponent on Where's Osama and securing better objective control on that dragon, I think it's definitely going to prove to have its benefits later on for Wisconsin.
Yeah, absolutely worth it. All right, the Winds of War animation. This is 2 buckets of chicken. That's great. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that Wisconsin is actually, even though the top lane pick was interesting, it might have been a red herring. I can't exactly get inside their brain, but it seems like it was an odd pick. But they've been utilizing the pressure that it's caused so well, and I'm honestly really impressed.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's just from the general, the fear of, well, if a Vayne gets fed,
right,
we let this Vayne farm and get to late game, and this Vayne can decimate us. We got a little bit of a party going on the top lane. I Love Thighs wants to grab at people again, and the teleport was blown from ZN Delta, so we'll see what happens here.
Emerald Plastic not going to be able to do anything, but he tries to go in and save his laning partner, ends up signing his own death certificate there, though. Now Imperial Trinity trying to pick up a few minions that are left as he dies as well. Probably a poor choice in the top lane, but yeah, that was actually a very interesting choice there.
Yeah, definitely an odd selection there. However, good job from UIC for just pinching them in there and taking advantage of their ability to close the gap with the heroic entrance.
Ooh, Mike on the bot side in trouble again. All right, there we go. Auto attacks flying backwards. The challenging smite does come down, ends up running away. Knowing that Teddy Eddie was coming down for him too, it was good play. Does get out of his life this time, so. Yeah, no, I think that, honestly, Imperial Trinity and Emerald Plastic getting a little bit too big for their britches there. And now, Emerald Trinity has the pickaxe available. And what do you think that'll end up becoming?
Yeah, that pickaxe that Imperial Trinity does have will likely end up going to... Honestly, he might just be going for an early... No, I mean, he might just be going for like an Infinity Edge or trying to... Maybe that's just all the gold he had for it. Or he could be going for a Death Stance as well. We do have a couple fights going on in the mid lane and bottom lane.
Alright, mid lane turret goes down. Where's Osama? He's in trouble and ends up dying.
Get him away.
CN Delta ends up getting the final say on that one, though.
Yep, and Shelly is popped in the mid lane to secure that first mid lane tower, and they are looking in to dive in on Mike, trying to fight him off again. However, he looks like he might be able to actually get himself away here. Does use the Condemn to stop I Love Thighs. However, UIC does have the inside track on this first Ocean Dragon.
Yeah, 4 members of... You have 4 members of Wisconsin here on the bot side as well that could contest, especially because they do have Vayne with the smite. So, if and you know what, maybe that is a benefit of having the smite on Mike. That if you do decide to take an objective, you do have that possibility of that idea of smite security, right? So, maybe not such a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if it pays off. I mean, I was expecting them honestly to try to utilize that to pressure around that Rift Herald, having essentially a double smite available. But obviously didn't happen. We'll see if they utilize that maybe with the Baron or this Dragon right here. They are looking to get that inside track, clearing out vision. And if Wisconsin can stack Dragons, then there's potential for a good late game fight by having a 4 or 5 stacked Elder Dragon would be absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if so if the first one doesn't go through, they've always got the elevated buff from the second Drake, or the second Elder Drake that they could always use. Looks like 3 members now being dedicated here to the mid lane. Meanwhile, on the top side, turret goes down to Where's Osama and Teddy Eddie, taking that one for their team.
Yep, so Wisconsin is almost being caught up in on that turret score, still ahead 4-3, and they've got all 3 dragons taken for them. However, they are at a gold deficit, about 1,000 gold deficit here, to see if they can get that changed up.
Johnson could be in trouble here, though. Alright, ends up getting himself out of there in time. not a whole lot more aggression, but this is actually a very troubling trend. So this is it's Wisconsin continually getting caught out in non-prime locations. Right, like that's happened a fair amount of times in the past few minutes. So they're pushing too far forward without any vision, and I think it's honestly causing a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and as you can see there with the Feasty, he's not really being able to get any damage onto Doogie due to the fact of the Galio shields and also that Morgana spell shield just blocking so much magic damage from his champion.
Yeah, it seems like the game is starting to slow down a little bit more. Johnson, oh, he's going to look to throw arrows Osama, but not able to find it. Emerald Plastic trying to follow up the culling, doesn't end up finding anything either. That Morgana Black Shield saves the life of Whereas Osama.
Mentioned earlier, having that physical damage against the Black Shield, not able to pop it, no crowd control going in on the Caitlyn. He's just going to be easy kiting all day.
Yeah, having that available, plus the amount of damage that Caitlyn just by themselves can put out is ridiculous. So, I mean, as long as Teddy Eddie can pop that Black Shield on the Where's Osama, if he gets jumped on, he'll be fine. There's going to be no problems for him. And we're also talking about the lack of CC that Wisconsin has. I don't think it's necessarily a lack of CC, but I think it's a lack of easy CC. You have the point-and-click stun from Johnson, or the point-and-click knock-up, really, from the Johnson. You have the, I guess, fairly easy to hit Event Horizon with the Feisty one. And then you have Scion, right? Who has like 2 forms of CC built into his kit. But the thing is, they all kind of require a little bit of timing and setup to throw in, to throw on somebody.
Yeah, so it is going to be more about that coordination still. That has seemed to be the strategy that Wisconsin has been going for these past couple games, is coordinated team fights. So we'll see if that does pay off. Looks like they are starting to posture around that dragon, get a little bit more vision side of Chicago. We'll see what ends up happening with maybe these next few minutes going into that next fight.
Yeah, I mean, lanes are shoving their direction though, so they're gonna have to be careful. There's a lot of wave clear potential from the Chicago team. So, oh, looks like Mike having to run yet again. There are 3 members roaming around the blue side jungle, this Wisconsin team. Because I Love Thighs diving in onto Imperial Trinity, brought down after a matter of time. There we go, I Love Thighs, and the team being able to pick up the PCC from Wisconsin. Oh, now it looks like Mike's trying to join the fight. Using that Event Horizon to try to ward off too much damage, whereas Osama trying to do a little bit of work on his own, though. Meanwhile, they didn't notice that looks like the Johnson starts taking turrets back there on the top side. Now he's isolated in this red or blue side jungle. Let's see if he's able to do anything.
Yep, there are no dragons from the side of UIC, so they're going to take this dragon this Baron a little bit slower. And there is that one red ward in the back. You do have the VC coming in. It's a little bit low, however, the Johnson is being fought by Milky, and they do finish off the Baron there, and they kill the Johnson.
The Johnson picking fights that he doesn't need to be in. I don't think that was a great idea. But we'll see if Wisconsin is able to pick themselves up from that. Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, I think kind of what I said earlier is going down, where that Vayne kind of got collapsed on by the Zach early game, and now their team is slowly crumbling just due to the pressure of this 5v4 because she bought a Cinder Hulk, not buying any attack damage,
Yeah.
and I mean, maybe if she went the attack speed item and she actually deals damage, but like she got no utility, really not providing a whole lot for the team. So just really being a weight for his team instead of
helping. Yeah,
the greatest.
I think a lot of what's happening in this game comes down to just communication, especially for the side of Wisconsin. Since around the 15-minute mark, they've had difficulty actually pulling off some of the pushing that they were able to do earlier. And that might partially be because of the difficulty they've had communicating. And so, oh look, Mike on the top side, being caught out again. And he's not making out of this one alive. Or will he? Alright, he's on the run. He's got the ultimate popped. Oh, Mike taking a lot of damage there from Osama. Looks like the Zach Q will end up landing, and where's Osama picks up the kill with the help of I Love Thighs. That was actually a really fantastic Zach Q.
Oh yeah, definitely catching him out there, and again, just Mike getting caught out here. It looks like this potential pocket pick that he does have is currently not panning out. I mean, eventually Vayne will just scale up, but it looks like with this pseudo bruiser-ish kind of build, it's not paying off with what they were hoping.
Also picked up the Runan's Hurricane on that. So, an interesting choice.
So she could really spread out that no damage.
And I think it really has to do with the fact that they've got the challenging smite down, right? Yeah, see the siege power from where is Osama right now.
Challenging smite doesn't go on multiple champions.
Johnson coming up from the backside. There we go, picking up a kill onto Teddy Eddie. But it looks like where is Osama still sitting in the back line? Will they be able to pick off that damage? There we go. Looks like Wisconsin will end up finding a kill for themselves onto the support and ADC.
Man, Emerald Classic trying to fight his way through this, though. Has been juking every with that pursuit. Does manage to get those kills going, and Mike does come in trying to finish off the team there. Does end up getting Gallia there into Dungi, and they are pushing up, trying to finish off Zach before he came back. But it looks like Wisconsin is fighting back. The Badgers are not willing to say die yet, and they're looking to push up this mid lane.
Yeah, they'll be able to take this turret for themselves at least as soon as their minion wave arrives. You do have Teddy Eddie, who is come back from base, but yeah, they'll be able to take this turret no problem and transition themselves back, reset the lanes, and try to clean themselves off from that bloodbath.
Up here, the next dragon and last dragon before Elder will be a mountain dragon, so Wisconsin definitely wants to try to get that double mountain dragon to hopefully be able to secure some Baron damage later, because they do have a lot of great damage in their Vayne and Lucian to be able to tear through Barons and towers. So if they do get their hands on that second mountain dragon, it will be critically effective for them.
Yeah, that was interesting. If they can pull off another fight like that, another fight that clean, they'll be. I don't think they have any problems. I mean, you had the Johnson coming in out of nowhere, picking up a brilliant kill onto Teddy Eddie, right? Exactly what they needed there. And then follow that up with the great timing from the Fisty one and Emerald Plastic. If they can continue orchestrating fights like that, they should be fine. Oh, looks like they're gonna end up finding three members of Chicago here in the topside jungle. Imperial Trinity caught up in that taunt in the front side. Oh, meanwhile, we've got Yikes, CN Delta coming in, trying to do as much damage as he can to this backline of Wisconsin. Meanwhile, in the middle of this fight, ooh, alright, we've got 1 kill coming, or 2 kills coming through for Emerald, and 1 kill going down onto the Johnson. Teddy Eddie now, and where is Osama running backwards, trying to get out of this fight?
Man,
Alright,
the
yeah,
big carry pants going out from Emerald Plastic, juking a bench with that relentless pursuit and just getting a ton of damage off.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that he was able to throw out the culling right onto a fairly large swath of the members of Chicago was super helpful in that fight. If they keep this up, I mean, that was a 2-for-1 trade, super worth. They can try to at least shove out their lanes. If they can continue that kind of fighting up, they should have absolutely no problem. And there's no
they did trade 3-for-1 on that, and they are pinging towards that Dragon. Dragon and Baron spawning at almost identical times, only a 2-second difference. And we're going to see if Wisconsin goes to grab this second Mountain Drake really quick, and then maybe turns to try to maybe meet UIC at the Baron, because it looks like they're posturing toward that top side to favor that Baron pick.
Yeah, shoving in those top lanes, making sure that... Oh, and Baron is coming up at the same time.
Things are going down for the Baron. How fast can Wisconsin finish this and then maybe make their way towards that Baron? The question mark things are going down. They are moving their way up there, but UIC is already on it. They are doing damage. However, where's Osama? Where is he? Indeed, he is not there. He's still on his way up there. Baron's down to about 50% HP. They're trying to bring them off. They do not have smite available, and Baron does go down.
Yeah, and it looks like, oh yeah, that is a clean Baron Chicago. But meanwhile, on the bot side, Johnson is doing some work of his own, taking the turret for in trade for that Baron for his team. That's actually going to force Chicago to have to fight their way out of their own base for a bit.
So we'll see what ends up being worth here. There is no Banner of the Command on the side of UIC this game right now, so they do not have as much of the push power as they would really want. However, they do have the Caitlyn, which is great for that C potential. But yes, definitely making the best of that bad situation of not being in position. The Johnson does secure that first inhibitor tower. So if Wisconsin can manage to hold themselves off here, then they do have a chance to just take it down later. However, it looks like Mike might get caught out again. Does manage to juke the correct way this time and avoids a 7th death.
I think really what's holding Chicago back is the way and Zach are playing these fights. I think they're diving just a little bit too hard when really they could just play around Caitlyn's range and just wait for Johnson to try to go in, or maybe Sion to try to make an ult, and then they could just peel back in for Siege instead of trying to force these fights and get kited by Vayne and Veigar, Lucian.
So you think they're being a little bit too aggressive? That makes a lot of sense, though.
If they just play a little bit more passive and use Caitlyn's range to their advantage, because that pretty much is their entire DPS, Caitlyn, on the side of Chicago. It's like if they just play around Caitlyn and keep her alive and be like a 4-man wall, just doesn't die, then they really have no chance of losing. But if they keep diving in like this, they're just giving Wisconsin inches and inches, and Wisconsin's taking miles. So
oh, the Johnson, by the way, is looking like he's trying to go for that turret, but the Doongi and Zien Delta catch him back and take him out before he's able to do too much damage to their base. But yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that if they were able to, because what they have, not only do they have a pretty nice all-in comp, but they also have the makings of a decent poke comp, right? I mean, you've got the Caitlyn, you've got the Morgana, and you've got Galley. What more do you need? Caitlyn with her massive range, you have a pool that you can throw under people's feet. Like, they have all the tools for a poke comp that they're using just for this insane dive comp, and it's been interesting. Ooh, that is a lot of damage, though. On to Mike, and where's Osama? They've got 1 minion alive, and it looks like I Love Thighs is going to try to tank that turret up. He'll have the pinion, or the Baron buff up. So that'll be one turret taken for Chicago. Alright, ZN Delta ends up being picked up there by Emerald. Now 3 members of Wisconsin, and there is the unstoppable coming from Imperial Trinity. Will not end up finding anyone, but the culling pops from Emerald Plastic will continue helping with the chase. The Johnson picking up 1 kill before being taken down in this front line here will help out his team, but the feisty one not able to actually finish off until just now, whereas Osama looks like Tadungi here in the back line is going to be their last hope, and he ends up going down as well to Emerald Plastic. Now it is Mike chasing after I Love Thighs. Well, I Love Thighs jukes him over the wall.
Yeah, and again, Emerald Plastic is just playing out of his mind right now, trying to carry this team as hard as he can, juking everything, just getting out by the skin of his teeth, and it looks like Wisconsin is going to make that push for that bottom side inhibitor.
And on top of that, that play for Wisconsin really came down to Delta just, again, being a little bit too over-aggressive, trying to walk up for auto attacks on the inhibitor when he really doesn't need to be doing that at all. He just needs to be zoning people off of diving the Caitlyn, and then that's really your job, instead of
diving in,
walking up and trying to get autos on the inhib. You just have to, you got to let your carries do that for you. Let the range to play there.
And Wisconsin opting not to go for either of those inhibitors, supposed to be able to take there, fearing for potential engage from the Zac and Aatrox.
Yeah, I do like how careful that Michigan has become, that Wisconsin has become in the past parts of this game. We're hitting on 40 minutes now here, and they are becoming very, very calculated now with the recent changes to Baron and Elder Drake. The second and third Baron buffs are stronger than the first one, so this next Baron buff coming up in about a minute 18 is going to be a highly contested piece. In addition, it looks like we've got a Elder Drake in play.
It looks like Johnson is trying to do some more of this backdoor double agent stuff. He is pushing against that inhib. It looks like he will be getting it, and so far no reaction from UIC to get onto that Elder Dragon. They're now on it. There is still the smite from Mike. They're jumping in, they're seeing if they can get anything done. We'll see if Mike does secure it with the smite. Wisconsin does secure it and is looking to push down that second inhibitor and that third Nexus that third inhibitor tower.
Oh, the feisty one! Oh, but it doesn't matter. Imperial jumps in onto Tadungi. Tadungi pops the Zonias to try to get out of a lot of this damage, but it's not going to matter. Emerald Plastic now doing a lot of damage to these towers, doing work to try to get those things down. Looks like the Let's Bounce is not going to end up sticking. Meanwhile, you do have ZN Delta trying to do what he can to take out, to take anything back from this Wisconsin team. Ooh, he ends up diving in onto Mike. Mike could be in trouble here, but there we go. At the end, ends up popping ZN Delta. Goodbye, buddy.
But that Baron is open for the side of UIC. They do manage to utilize that teleport to get the one inhibitor and the one Nexus tower down. However, they are fully exposed. Double super minions in every wave for the side of Wisconsin going in there against the one Nexus turret and 3 Baroned up champions on the side of UIC. Definitely a closer game this time than we have seen.
Yeah, this Baron buff is going to be only used to be shoving back minions now. If Wisconsin is able to get into their base, because they still have the Elder Drake buff, if they're able to get into their base anytime soon, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for Chicago to be able to fight that back.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. They do have a lot of things going their way, trying to bait out here against that team, against the Zach to bait out that red buff. However, Zach plays it smart enough, gets it away. I love thighs, loves his thighs, and not want to see them die.
He just wants to save those buns, dude. Ooh, alright, so there's the binding. Finds Imperial Trinity, but not a whole lot else. You know, I'm not always a huge fan of the Assassin Vi build, but it's really doing some work on the Johnson. Oh, wow, alright, so there's the Quicksilver Sash.
We're gonna pop in that QSS, yep.
You got 5 super minions in this bottom lane trying to go in, and you got the ZZ Rock portal. They are pushing in, they are trying their damnedest to get this game closed out. However, the power of that 6-item Caitlyn, they do end up clearing out all these supers, but they are pushing in to see if they can get anything done here. While they do have all those supers piling in, flooding in from all 3 lanes now.
Mike being brought very low. Again, 2 autos from Where's Osama puts you in a dangerous spot. Yeah, it looks like the Wisconsin still playing this very slowly, not trying to push too hard, just letting the minions do the work and let the game kind of push itself.
And honestly, they're playing it smart. They have no inhibitors down, all on. They've got 3 inhibitors down on the side of UIC. They're jumping in for the fight here. The Johnson down. They are fighting in really hard. They do end up taking down. Where is Osama? Osama is dead. They are jumping in right now. However, it is a trade right now of 3 for 1. Emerald Classic tries to finish off the game, but he will not be able to have enough to finish that off there. And they are trying their damnedest. However, it's not going to be enough. Nexus Tower does survive. However, they do have the Galio teleport, but no wards to get them up there, and now it's just base cleanup right now.
Yeah, I think they really need to sit back and defend the base instead of trying to go for any of these inhibitors, because I don't think they're going to have enough time, and they might get caught on the way back, which is going to be a defeat if anyone on the side of Chicago goes down before any of these inhibitors come back up.
Exactly. I mean, it takes 30 seconds to run from base to the opposite side, like from Nexus turret to Nexus turret. So they're gonna be able to at least get an inhibitor, and they can kind of fend off some of the minions. But I mean, that's all they're gonna be able to get. I'm glad they didn't try to go for anything else.
Yeah, going for that second inhibitor would have been really risky for them. And we're approaching 45 to 46 minutes here now, cresting 90,000 gold for each champion, for each team, and champions are finishing off builds, popping elixirs. And the next big objective that we're going to have is we're going to end up having, I believe, that Elder Dragon as the next prize here. Either that or the Baron's going to be up first. But they do have inhibitors starting to respawn on the side of UIC, so they are mitigating those losses that they did have, and it looks like it's going to come down to just really who gets the better play, which carry survives longer, Emerald Plastic or where is Osama.
At this point, any death could mean the end of this game, and could mean the end of this series. Remember, so Chicago only needs 1 more win to clinch their place in the final, and Wisconsin is fighting for just 1 more game. So both teams have fought this game so hard, and hopefully they can finish out strong. I mean, a 47-minute game is absolutely brutal.
Yep, and I mean, you see right there, Emerald Plastic, 512 CS. He is carrying this team as hard as he can right now to try to find a way to win this fight and keep Wisconsin in the game.
At this point, this guy has enough CS to complete his build entirely without kills. I mean, it just goes to prove. I mean, if you keep a game going long enough, you're going to get all of your items, and we're hitting that point. So, I mean, guys, looking at these 2 comps, which one do you think actually has the upper hand in a straight 5v5 ARAM? Because that's kind of what we're running into.
I mean, that's going to be tough because it really just depends on who does some of the outplays here. Because you have the Scion and the Vi that can just right in, and honestly, Viger can just 100-0 anybody at this point. If he pulls out his ultimate, then Caitlyn's dead. Caitlyn's GA is popped. You know, besides maybe the exception of Galio, everyone else is going to end up dead from any strikes from that Viger. I believe right now, let's see, how much AP is he cresting right now?
1,300.
Yeah, 1,300 AP, so his Primordial Burst does, well, a shit ton of damage.
I'm pretty sure
looking
the
at the math
determining
right now, it
factor
looks like
in
it's
these team
doing-
fights for both teams are going to be who engages and who's going to be doing the most kiting. Because whoever's going to be doing the most kiting is probably going to win.
Yeah.
Take the
Oh,
big
and
risk
interior,
in diving in is probably going to lose. But the Johnson might make a big play here by going for these inhibs while they're in.
I mean, that is if, yeah, there we go. There's the Johnson.
And he's actually,
taking that
Johnson's
out.
trying to finish. The Johnson's trying to end. Flash are blown. I mean, will he manage to survive? There's a fight going on in the mid lane. The Johnson's so close to
Oh
finishing
boy,
off
he doesn't quite
that
get
tower.
it.
He gets very close to having that finish.
There goes Emerald Plastic, picking up one member, ZN Delta now in the back line alone. Will he be able to finish anybody off? No, Emerald Plastic, and Emerald Plastic goes down as well. Teddy, Eddie, and Where's Osama doing so much work now. It is just Imperial Trinity here, and he has to do so much work just to get out alive. It is now just him and Fisty One alive to make sure they can keep their base alive. Because it is now 30 seconds for the nearest ally.
Yep, we will see what happens here. I do not believe that UIC will try to end. They're likely just going to go in, grab that Baron. However, this does give Wisconsin the chance to potentially posture around that Elder Dragon. The second Elder Dragon, which means it's going to be even better in strength, and plus you do have the 4 dragons on the side of Wisconsin.
That's going to mean a lot of power. Baron Brave right now does mean a lot, but, I mean, without any sort of, with only having that one inhibitor down, it doesn't mean quite as much as it could, so.
Yeah, but with the Wisconsin red inhibitor about to respawn, does now respawn, we do have a potential fight here. Baron will not necessarily help them out in the way around Dragon as it would in lane, because not empower anything around Dragon except for them, and they're already there. They are done with that Baron.
By the
with
time
that
we even
Elder
look
Dragon.
down at the camera, it's half dead. So I mean, like the amount of because of the 2 Earth Drakes that they have and the fact that it's late game, they can burn through that thing like it's a large minion. I mean, and now they have so much damage on their side.
Yep,
Right
and it's
now, that bucket
135 plus 90 per stack. So you're looking at 4 dragons. You're looking at over 600 true damage going out from every single member of University of Wisconsin. Plus,
That's
thinking
600
about
damage
you're
per
doubling the effectiveness of an Infernal Drake. So you're getting now, instead of 6%, you're getting 12%. And then plus the Vein, which deals true damage, plus % health. This team is about to deal a ton of damage here, ladies and gentlemen. This next fight will be the last fight of the game, and it will decide if we're going to a Game 4 or if we will close out the night tonight.
Did anybody else's butt clench really hard when he was gonna jump in? Because Emerald Plastic was like right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I did kind of be
good.
like, oh shit.
I was just thinking that just now because I'm like, oh, Emerald, come on. Because I mean, if one member gets caught out, right, that is a 50-second death time. I mean, we've been seeing numbers up there, but a 50-second death timer is so painfully long. So
Yeah,
like, one person dies and it's over.
Oh yeah, in this game at this point, the smallest mistake will spell doom, and it looks like Emerald Plastic is winning. Does have to burn the flash, has to burn the QSS early, jumps in, and he is defeated by the team. However, if you look right here, the Johnson is looking to try to fight in there. We do have Defisti does
goes
take down
down.
Galio. They're jumping in there trying to finish off. However, the bottom lane has returned. They're jumping in though with everyone from the team. It looks like Wisconsin might be able to actually finish this off. They do!
There we
Wisconsin
go.
with the backdoor from the Imperial King and the Johnson forces a Game 4. 52-59 in.
I need myself some cheddar because that was freaking great.
The cheese from Wisconsin was so fine. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to game 4 here.